39 days to the election and 39 days to choose a new democratically elected president of the United States. Not so fast. On MSNBC, noted historian Michael Beschloss met the sunrise this morning with a dire warning about the sun setting. On American Democracy, we have that incredible video for you in a second. It speaks to that nagging disquiet that we're all feeling as this wave of positivity, joy, and hope are being tested against the incessant, hateful, mean, and desperate ravings of what seems to be a certified lunatic.
Make America wealthy again. Make America healthy again. Make America strong again. Make America proud again. Make America safe again. And we will make America great again.
They were like Rambos, just like putting a million Rambos. Good old Sylvester Stallone is my friend. But it's like putting a million Rambos. Somebody explained that to me. They're great fighters. It's like putting a Rambo. Give him a knife, and that's all he needs.
You know, when I was a kid, the notion of a dictator in the White House, that was the stuff of bad TV.
Good people, this is your leader talking. I would like to promise you, just a second.
Promise them this, that, and the other thing.
I promise you this, that, and the other thing. So everybody, go home, kick off your shoes, turn on the TV, and relax. And that's an order.
Well, it turns out that the notion of having a dictator in the White House is still the stuff of bad TV.
Under no circumstances, you are promising America tonight, you would never abuse power as retribution against anybody.
Except for day one.
Except
Look,
for?
he's going crazy. Except for day one.
Meaning?
I want to close the border, and I want to drill.
That's not retribution. I'm
gonna be, you know, he keeps, we love this guy. He says, you're not going to be a dictator, are you? I said, no, other than day one.
Wow, he looks so much healthier and just slightly less vile there. Well, let's be sure of one thing. It's Trump's sidekick in autocracy that really has guys like Kevin Roberts and the whole gang at Project 2025 gazing upon him with lustful eyes, because as much as Captain Blunderpants says he never heard of Project 2025, his boy Elroy wrote the foreword. Now, what does that mean? Well, let's let Michael Beschloss sound the alarm and share his deepest worries with us this morning over on MSNBC.
In a 2022 video that was posted yesterday on social media, Vance claimed that Trump won the 2020 election. That clip, which was from Vance's run for the U.S. Senate that year, was reposted by comedian Jason Selvig, who was part of a political comedy duo called The Good Liars. In the caption of the video, Selvig writes, J.D. Vance refused to answer this question at the debate, but he told us that Donald Trump won the 2020 election. Take a listen.
Who won the 2020 election?
We're going to go to the town.
Could you just answer, did Donald Trump win, yes or no?
Yes.
He did win?
Yep.
So will you concede? Will you concede? If your opponent gets more votes, will you concede?
I really feel bad for you, man.
I just want to know, if your opponent gets more votes, will you concede?
Joining us now, author and NBC News presidential historian Michael Beschloss. Michael, good to see you. I mean,
same, Jonathan.
That clip disturbing on two levels. One, that Vance says that Trump wins, and second, he wouldn't commit to conceding were he to lose. That, of course, those very questions hover over this year's election as well. Tell us your thoughts about that moment and Vance's refusal to acknowledge in that debate, with the national spotlight, refusal to acknowledge that Donald Trump lost.
The J.D. Vance debate this week will be known in history and probably in the next 32 days until the official election day for one thing, and that is he was asked, did Trump win the 2020 election by his opponent, and Vance said, I prefer to focus on the future. So not only did he dodge the question, but he gave a different answer from the one you just showed, Jonathan. That does not exactly suggest that this is someone equipped for global leadership. If he's meeting with Putin and Putin gives him a tough question, is he going to say, I prefer to focus on the future? That's not exactly big league.
And let's This moment comes as the idea of preserving our democracy, January 6th, very much at the forefront of the national consciousness again.
Right.
We saw Liz Cheney yesterday rally with Kamala Harris. We also saw Jack Smith's filing be released publicly this week and showing again in remarkable detail Trump's indifference to the violence in his name taking place at the U.S. Capitol.
And that was 4 years ago when Trump was president, and a lot less wild in certain ways than he is now. Less wild, less desperate. So you have to assume that Vance is perfectly signed on to the idea that if Trump and Vance lose the election 32 days from now, we're going to see not only a replay of what happened in 2020, 2021, but something that's much more grave and could lead to autocracy.
And Michael, lastly, the New York Times had some terrific reporting this week about Trump's threats to prosecute, to jail his political opponents, suggesting the DOJ did work on his behalf to limited success in his first term, but now he would be able to stock his administration with loyalists who would carry it out further, and emboldened by the Supreme Court's ruling that the executive power has only grown. How worried are you that were he to win, he would take this to a very un-American place?
Extremely worried. This is something we've never seen before in American history. Major party nominees saying, elect me, and I'm going to use the DOJ, the Defense Department against my domestic enemies, jail people, and what we have had for over 2 centuries of a presidency operating more or less within the boundaries of the law. Now, with the help of the Supreme Court saying a president is immune from prosecution, we are on the precipice of a situation where we may, in 32 days, have a dictator.
Author and NBC News presidential historian Michael Beschloss with some stark warnings for us this morning. Michael, thank you again.
Thank you, John.
You know, I was thinking about it. Shapeshifters, they have a long history in mythology, in literature, comic books, film, television, you name it. They're among the most feared entities because you can never trust that they are what they appear to be. I mean, really, is T-1000 in Terminator any less worrisome than V-2025? Hey, don't take my word for it. To paraphrase the Sermon on the Mount and John Landis, beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's eyeliner, but inwardly they are ravening American wolves.